How does everyone feel?
Great. Got excited.
Cool. Let's do it.
Oh,
Can we
yeah,
just do
let's
like a
do it.
breath together?
Yeah.
Okay.
I love that.
The swing after.
My name is Annie Franklin. I am a Chicago creative artist. I have been doing creative projects, creating works, and creating visuals for 10 plus years now. I graduated from Western Michigan University, where I was able to get my Bachelor of Fine Arts degree. It was a 4-year process of dance theory, physical dancing, physical classes, but also understanding the realm of the art form of dance. I've always been so fascinated with art in and of itself, movement, music, and I've been really fascinated with the process behind creating art. I think that it's such a special piece to art that I feel goes unnoticed sometimes. You know, it's like when you're watching somebody's work or you're experiencing somebody's work, even if it's art, even if you're at a gallery and you're looking at paintings or you're looking at, you know, sculptings or anything that has to do with art, you never really know what went into that to create what's standing in front of you, you know? And I think that, you know, we take it so much for granted and we don't appreciate the work. We don't appreciate what was built and how things were built to become so aesthetically pleasing to the eye. I love discussing and conversing with people about their process when creating art, their own art. And, you know, I think it's really cool to see the different avenues that people take to get that end product or to get that finished piece. I think it's really brilliant to see, you know, where people go with their ideas, where they stem from, what their inspiration is. I think it's really awesome to be a part of that evolution of art and that evolution of that process. And I think that that's something that's so profound because no one else will ever see that. No one else will ever experience that except for that one person, what goes on in their head, their ideas that they write down in a notebook. No one will see that, and I feel like it's something that should be recognized. When I see movement in my head and I see visuals and projects, I can almost envision the entire visual from beginning to end in my head, where it's taking place, what dancers are wearing, what music is playing, what's happening in the first 30 seconds, what's happening in the second 30 seconds. You know, I can really pan it out and see the entire set in my head. And that's kind of what I go off of when I'm creating sections or I'm creating you know, partner work or dancer work. That is how I go about my placements for, you know, certain parts of these visuals. Sometimes I spend days working on these ideas and this movement and this creation. Sometimes I'll spend hours just trying to bust it out and create what I can to fulfill that image that's in my head. A lot of times I'll write down, my ideas. I'm so used to writing down structure, and I'm so used to keeping notes and keeping tabs and laying out my ideas. I think I got that from college, actually. We would have to write out, what our plan is completely from head to toe. The rehearsal aspect of, preparing for your end visual or for your idea or for your piece that you're going to be sharing with the world is a very, very important piece of the puzzle for me personally. And rehearsals are a way to completely lay out and structure and plan out what you'll be sharing with everybody.
6, 7, and 5, shoot, shoot, boom, 4, boom, boom, tick, 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 right here. 6, 7, and 5, shoot, shoot, boom, 2, 3, 4, shoot, shoot, tick, 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 boom, 5, ha. Okay, I think it's your levels.
My name is Felecia Hubbard, and I'm a mover and creator in the Chicagoland area. I'm from a little town, Wonder Lake, Illinois. My artistry is really just based on my intuition, like who comes into my life at that time and shares their knowledge with me, or not even movement based, just like environmental based, or just knowledge based in any form that usually influences me in my movement or artistry, wherever that's gonna take me. So being in rehearsal with Archangels is just very inspiring, and anytime we might doubt ourselves or we learn something that was really hard, and we maybe not have executed greatly the first rehearsal, we all come back and everyone's prepared, like beyond, everyone takes their work, they go home, they bring it back, and that pushes all of us. So for me personally, when we're in that rehearsal space, I just feel everyone almost lifting me up as well. So I've done things that I didn't think I could do either.
I think that detail is a very, very important aspect of an art visual, especially if you want it to be readable to people. So when you're in that rehearsal setting and you're working with dancers, it's very important to be detailed and be honest and be open and be, blunt with how you want things to be, going from texture to execution to, detail of fine and small movements is very important to relay that message to your audience.
When you finished your shake, you were front, and I love that. I love that you can see your image here and Felicia's here, and your shake is exhilarating.
Sometimes rehearsals are an hour long, sometimes rehearsals are 7 hours long, sometimes rehearsals start at 10 p.m. and go until 2 a.m. and you have to kind of bring yourself to a mental place that's going to uplift others in the room and is going to keep you focused for what needs to get done.
It's demanding. Sometimes we're rehearsing 5 days in a row and your body's going to be tired. So just taking care of yourself, taking care of your body in whatever way you need to. Me personally, with my back issues and stuff, I was worried that would hinder my movement. There was a couple rehearsals where I actually got just a little emotional, just because we always want to execute the best we can, and with body pain there's only so much you can do. When I wasn't executing, especially next to someone who I think is doing amazing, it was a little hard for me, but that's part of the process, and you gotta respect what your body needs and let rest tonight and then come back the next day, and it turned out amazing.
I think that you know, no matter what you're going through or no matter what you have going on, when you step into that rehearsal setting, it's very important to bring your A game and to be present, so that, you know, whoever's in front of you creating, you're giving them that moment, and you're allowing them to see if their vision is possible, and create on people that are willing to open themselves up mentally, physically, emotionally. I think it's just such a great way to really be able to test every vision and idea that you have and experiment and explore.
You know, we're walking into a space, we want to respect what's being created. So emotionally, you have to be available. You have to be open. Whatever's going on, whatever you need to do to get through that and work through that is definitely needs to happen. So that otherwise, I think we wouldn't have created what we were able to create. Annie would, you know, work with a group of 3 or 2 or 1, and then it would come together. And I just really enjoyed that process of watching individual movement come together like a puzzle.
I definitely have a lot of different avenues that I take when I'm rehearsing with dancers or creating with dancers. Sometimes I will use creative processes that will allow dancers to actually collaborate with me.
So during rehearsals, a lot of the time there was a lot of creative freedom for us to create our phrase or our movement that would be going on camera, whether it's conversational or actual choreography. And I think that was so special because it challenged the dancers to push themselves.
I give a structure or an outline of my idea. Say, you know, I need you to move on this count. I need you to move on this count. I need you to move on this count. The movement needs to be fluid. It needs to have expansion involved, and I need your focus to look right and look left. From there, at least the dancers that I am blessed to work with are able to take that structure and fill in the rest.
Annie would still have a overall structure for us and a guidance, but giving us that freedom just really made it natural. It really made us feel like we had a voice, which I think overall read better on camera, because we are invested just as much as Annie.
You know, when you're creating something that you want to be high caliber and really exceptional for the human eye, I think it takes professionalism, and it takes you willing to work with people to make that image aesthetically pleasing. And sometimes that aesthetically pleasing image is unison, is unity, you know, and you know, watching artists move together in unison has such a high powerful intensity behind it. It takes knowledge, and it takes experience. It takes willingness and professionalism to get artists who are completely different, have completely different backgrounds, completely different dance backgrounds, to get them in sync is very, very beautiful to me, because I know that when that happens and when you see that visually, that took work to get there. Rehearsal time to me is very pure and very special. I think that, you know, that's the moment that you get to share your ideas with others. That's the moment that you get to see your ideas on other bodies. That's the moment that you get to really see if your ideas can be pulled off. And, you know, when you have people that are open enough, vulnerable enough, and willing enough to bring your vision to life, it can become so fulfilling.